there, it's Todd with In Gear Garage. You know, most hot rodders, we think about power and performance, braking, even handling and stuff these days. But one thing we don't think about until we need it are the windshield wipers when you're stuck out in the rain. Fortunately, there's a company that lives and breathes wiper systems, and that's Newport Engineering. Newport Engineering's been around since about 1987, and in fact, like a lot of hot rod products of the day, it was kind of born out of necessity. They were building hot rods, selling suspension parts, traveling the country, going to different street rod events and such, but then it came down to the point where they just didn't have a good wiper system. So being innovative hot rodders, they took it upon themselves to give it a shot. And what that led to was their clean wipe technology that they're still using today, 3 decades later, and now they have about 200 different part numbers and applications. One being a 64 Chevelle system that we're going to be installing here shortly. For our Chevelle, the system is ready to bolt in. It already comes with a nice powder-coated black laser-cut heavy-duty mounting bracket, which mounts right to the factory holes. Then there's an arm that's going to go to the factory linkage. And then the motor is a heavy-duty 2-speed motor. That's an upgrade right there because our system barely has 1 speed and it never parks where it's supposed to. So we're looking forward to get this thing on here and finding some rain. Now to start off with, I recommend taking your wiper arms off. This is just a safety precaution in case the wiper motor is not fully in park, or if you get the bracket on backwards or something like that and the wipers are 180 degrees off. It can't happen in this application, but it can happen in other systems. So better safe than sorry and not scratching your paint up and things. So these are never any fun. Oh, and by the way, Newport can help you out with a complete set of wiper blades and wiper arms even too, but ours were in pretty good shape. All right, one down. Generally when we work on our cars, we have to disconnect the negative battery cable. Just a nice little safety feature. Then you're gonna just get in here, unplug the factory wiring. This one's a little hard to see with our brake booster that we upgraded, and then we have our shift cable here. 3 bolts, get down in there. All right, we were able to pull the motor out enough to access the linkage arm nut. All right. We ended up taking off the arm off the original motor, and then there was a C-clip holding on to the linkage, so we had to take that off as well. And the new motor is going to slide right onto that linkage port. Going to get that on there, put the new C-clip back on, and then bolt this thing to the firewall. Also, you might want to consider getting some dry caulk or something around the edges here just to seal this thing off when you mount it up to the firewall. There we go, we got our wiper motor mounted, all the linkages hooked up, so now we just got to work on the wiring. All you're going to have is a switch 12 volts, and there's a ground wire, and then these go up to the switch, so it's not that difficult at all. We have a good ground right down here on our chassis, so we're going to keep the ground wire out here and get these things routed through the firewall and move inside. So we got our wires from Newport routed up underneath. They're already terminated to go onto our new switch. There's only 4 wires plus the 12 volt wire that's underneath there that goes to the fuse box. On our Chevelle, of course, the wiper switch is up on the top, hardest to get to. We already got the headlight switch out. Now we just got to dig under there, take off the factory windshield wiper switch, and get this wired in. There we go, we got that secure in there. Original nut just takes a little set screw to tighten it up. All right, we got our switch 12 volts going up to the fuse box, protected by a 10 amp fuse, which Newport recommends. So we're going to turn this thing on and see how the wipers sound. There's our single speed. Let's kick it up a notch. Awesome. All right, before we turn it on, we're going to go ahead and wet this streak down a little bit so it doesn't scratch everything. And give it a shot. No interference, all looks good. High speed. And let's try that park. How cool is that? Never really had park. They always stop somewhere in between, so I'm pretty excited. But there you go, one of Newport Engineering's direct fit wiper kits. Went in pretty easy. Everything's dialed in and working as it should. So if you want to check out more applications, find something for your car or truck, look them up at newportwipers.com.